Act 2. So, episode 2, not Act 2. Episode 2, or part 2 at Sec 16. It says that in the corner and I still screw that up. Oh, professional. Anywho. So, of course, I've done more thinking on the capture device ordeal. Warning, however, when I do get it, the main focus would actually be Velocity X. If you see my second reply in the last video, you'll know kind of why I'm hyping it up to be more than it really is. But as I mentioned in that comment as well, in this timeline, where the timeline's branched off after World Race, so Turbo Racing would be the first canonical thing after Universe Zero for both groups. Act 5 was the original characters, but in your timeline, they get out after Act 5. And Act 5 was the finale where they exposed and defeated Carbon, which was actually Act 11 here, or Act 10. But not Act 5. So it's the first 4 were canon, and then 10 was canon in your timeline. So anything that happened in those acts matters. Anything else does not, unless you want it to. However, obviously, in the other timeline, while most of those same events happened there, in those 5 acts, they of course are doing, several more. In this timeline, they find this as a source of enjoyment and sort of a ceasefire between the other series. Because nice car right into my ear. When I get the capture device, focus would be on Velocity X being the Velocity Wars. And that would basically be, well, it'd start with the adventure mode. I don't know what cars I would use. I'd probably use a variety of cars from, hang on, had the audio too high from around here. I was listening to music on my PS4, so I just got deafened by so fast's car in the background. But yeah, so the Velocity Wars would be what I ended up calling the Velocity X series if and when I get around to doing such a thing. Whether it be PS2, but that's complicated for its own set of reasons, other than just the capture device and the terrible computer from 2002, or whenever the heck. It's not an advanced computer, bottom line. And I totally agree, I doubt it'd work either, because I can't even play Need for Speed Carbon. And that's a game from 2006, and it's not really that taxing compared to some other PC-based games. It couldn't do Fusion Fall, but that's because that's like a 2017, 2018 based thing. So I can kind of see that. It has an invalid protocol within the website for the launcher of it. Let's look briefly at the race. The Angels hold 1 and 2 with race cam not too far behind in 3rd. Danny and XT3 trying to make their way up to them. But there have not been many passes at all. We'll look now and yeah, not all that much has changed. XT3 invert swapped, Gearhead gained 2 spots, Bat lost 1, Twin Mill gained 1, Burn lost 1, the Governor gained 2, and Ryan Storm, of course, in his less than capable Supra and his less than capable driving skills, lost like 5. As Gearhead and Twin Mill both just eat that curb like it's a slice of pizza. Anyway, back to the previous topic. which that'll be a lot of the topic for at least the first round. Other names, Turbo Racing I would just call Turbo Racing. Because while it's dramatic, it's nothing like Lost DX would end up being. I would do World Race Leagues, because that's like a rerun sort of thing. It's like a retelling under this timeline, sort of, I guess. I wouldn't do Beat That, and I would do Speed Racer. That would be the replacement for Stunt Track Challenge, because that's my least favorite Hot Wheels game. It's not a bad one, but for the driving, I can just do World Race, and I don't much care all too that much for the, like, stunt challenges themselves, which is what make them stick out. As hilarious as Ryan Storm can sometimes be, and the driving can be a little satisfying sometimes, but generally World Race is just a better racing experience, which is kind of what I was looking for. The Angels are getting much closer together now. Dusty probably looking for the lead and the win because he is tied for the points, so very close to tying for the points lead, right behind Twin Mill and Vert. And this kind of result would put him well ahead in the championship by like 10 points. Okay, not 10, like 5 or 6. Because Vert is down in only 7th, and Twin Mill isn't even scoring right now. He's in 11th, dealing with that shenanigans. He was apparently hit at some point by someone, but I have no idea who. Burns made a few big moves. He's gained from 13th to 9th in 2.5 laps. Race Cam must defend from Danny. You got a power advantage, at least. I don't know about dot handling, as you can see. But a track like this, all you really need is a bunch of power. You don't need as much handling as you would need at some other courses, because we have 3 decently long straightaways where you can hope to pass somebody at the end of them. As you can see, Byrne, the in-house top speed specialist, is benefiting greatly from that attribute. That is not going to work though, Byrne. From there, in that lane, you're not passing anything. You wouldn't even pass a Volkswagen from that maneuver. He apparently seems to be underestimating the power that XT3's car has got down a straightaway. No, not as much as his, but it's enough. You have to be somewhat close to pass someone. Dusty Angel has still not found a way around the other Angel. And that's for why these two are in different models of cars. Well, one, these two came out in the same year and raced in the same event known as Le Mans back in the late 60s. So they're kind of rivals in that sense, but also because I never much liked the idea of characters driving the same car. I mean, Dusty Angel is still its own separate thing from 60 Angels. You can't reflect that in personality, so I gotta reflect it somehow in the car they use. And if this came in yellow, I would have put some Angels in this as well as Dusty, but it only comes in this color of red, so can't really do that. Anywho, the other difficulty with capture devices, minus the already apparent one of computer being a dinosaur. One, it's too late to ask for one for Christmas. Two, I'm not really tech savvy, so plugging it in like that, even if it were as simple as an AV cable, would be somewhat beyond me. Three, consoles that I have, the PS3 could only do turbo racing, really. There are no other PS3 games. This is not one of the backwards compatible games. The PS2 isn't even at my house. It's at my dad's house, and I only visit him once or twice a month, every 2 weeks for a weekend. By weekend, I more like mean 24 hours or so. We meet him on Saturday afternoon and leave on Sunday afternoon. I could, in theory, bring the PS2 back, which, assuming that I get the capture device at any point in the near future, is entirely what I would do. Meanwhile, as we finally have a challenge for the lead between the two angels, and well, it's stick though. 16 gets a better run, but they kind of freak each other out. And that extra gear will give Dusty Angel the place, and probably the nope. 16 Angels is not easily defeated, it seems. Dusty let off the gas? What were you doing there? At least wouldn't make it interesting. It would show off. Angels, or 16 Angels, not in the best place. And you're out of there. Okay, so now I think Dusty Angel has the win locked in. As we look back a little bit, we have Cluster. We have like the balance car, the all-out power, and the all-out handling, fighting for third. Seems the balance car will probably win because this turn is not a braking zone that's big enough for a pass. Unless Burn was psychotic, which I'm not saying he isn't, but like he's got some sort of alien brain in there that would tell him, hey, let me not do that. XU3 in the rare occurrence will beat Gearhead, and both end up beating that. Tunmo does eventually get into the point scoring positions, but at the expense of Vert Wheeler not doing so. And so fast will take the final points paying position. And then as for the Wii, that's upstairs. That's not necessarily a problem. The problem comes from... Yeah, it is actually going to be a 10-point lead now, because no, and Bert went very badly. And Dusty did take the win, so... It's 11, rather, but, you know, I would hope you can count that for yourself. What is the problem with it being upstairs? It's right in the living room. Because it's kind of like the family commons console. Like even like 2 nights ago, we were playing Monopoly on it. So, a little EA game that came out in 2008. So as a result, me talking to myself for anywhere between 15 to 45 minutes in the middle of the house will get a little awkward, and will also be very easily interrupted by things like people walking around. So... But on top of that, too, the Wii would be the least likely one, because then I'd have to find and purchase all of the Game Boy or GameCube versions of the games I want to do. Which means I could just skip out on Soundtrack Challenge if I wanted to. because I don't really have too many plans for that, or Beat That, which is in itself a Wii game. But the convenience of that would actually make that one of the higher choices. It's just a matter of Beat That. Other than what you've already done with it, there's not much to do. It's not like, you know, one of those versatile games where you can just keep playing it over and over again. It has literally zero replay value. But then again, not many of the Hot Wheels games do. None of them really do, honestly. You just have to make it ourselves in any goofy ways we can think of. And as for the other three, of course, you know, they have GameCube counterparts. That would also mean I'd have to get a GameCube controller, but I don't imagine those are too expensive. I have a buddy, an old buddy not in the sense of I've known him for a long time, more of in the fact that he's in his late 60s. He's kept his son's old GameCube since his son moved away. Might just sputtered out for a second there, that was weird. I don't know if the recording is going to pick that up. And I was like concerned that maybe that meant the mic shut off on me. So I had to check. Nope, we're still going. As, you know, as projected. I should probably start the next race while I continue talking, huh? But maybe, I don't know, maybe he might let me have the GameCube. I don't know. Then that would, of course, still mean, I now have to find a place for said GameCube. Which I think there's an extra input on the TV upstairs, but then we just have the same problem of the easy to interrupt thing. The only difference is that I just have a GameCube controller from that, which I could also just take from him, and then I still have to find all of the games. So... And then the PS3, like I said, it's not one of the backwards compatible PS3s, it's the slim one, which I've heard is the worst one. My mom is a little more tech savvy, so I imagine when she's eventually here, she could help me figure it out. Though, I mean, I say that, I hope she'd be back by the time it's my birthday in 4 months. Oh, that's the front row. Also, that's the second row. Also, Dusty is, in DOS back. Oh, bye, Gearhead. He's been spun. By who, I wonder? I didn't really tell. I couldn't tell from back there. So fast, alright, didn't see that coming. So fast, just tried to, like, wedge him. He put his game face on for this round, hasn't he? Because he's up in 5th. He's already gained 2 places. Granted, he pushed one out of the way. Nope, not at 6 needles. Oh! A little bit of missed braking from 16 Angels. Gearhead, I imagine, would like to have a couple of words so fast, assuming he gets up to him. And by a couple words, I mean he's probably going to knock him off the track. If he's ever given the chance. Well, the longer I block Vert, the more the odds of winning Twin Mill will have. I don't really know if that suits me any, but apparently, well, we'll see. If depending on how long it takes for Vert to get around me. But there's actually inferior power rating compared to my car. So I know you seek these videos out when you have things to do and would want some background noise, but are there only these videos, or do you look at other videos on my channel when you need background noise? Because there technically is another game, one other game rather, that I could easily play and not only kind of shoehorn it in as a predecessor to another series that I plan on doing later on. Gearhead is right there now, but he's somehow, surprisingly, probably because he's an AI, has not attempted to destroy him yet. Yeah, Twin Mill is out of here. I've held Vert here for almost 4 minutes now. Actually, has been 4 minutes now. And at this point, Twin Mill's got like 7 seconds on Vert, so even if he does get around me, it's not even gonna matter at this point. Twin Mill is at an uncatchable location already, and Dusty has already gained many places. He's gained like 5, I think. Yeah. This Gearhead is trying to intimidate so fast. Because I'll tell you right now, that isn't how this works. If that couldn't intimidate him as at the peak of his power, maybe you are intimidating him. He's driving like that, and it probably seems a little bit shaken. Yeah, it is now almost 9 seconds to Twin Mill from Vert. Unfortunately, this guy is here now. He just puts it in there on both of us. And, well, get both of us. Okay, then. Ryan Storm going for his monumental first points of the series. And, well, with any luck, you should be able to stay here. You stayed here for 3 laps. Basically, 2 laps. And so fast, and Gearhead are making a nuisance of themselves, not too far behind, so... Vert's finally got around to me. But with Twin Mill now, solid like probably 12 seconds up the road. Does that even matter at this point? Ah. So anyway, I was saying before, and I kind of like, I got sidetracked by something. I don't know what it was. So another series that I can record on the PS4 could be, I'd have to call it something that would be recognized as Hot Wheels. And I'd also have to determine the character, like, swap outs. And, I'd probably have to do, like, a tester of it and see how your reception of it, because, it's the game is, they remade this on the PSN thing like 7 different times. They made it for, well, not 7. They remade it for both the PS3 and the PS4. But Twisted Metal Black is part of the PlayStation 2 Classics collection on PS4, like online server or store thing. That's that's the scientific term, the store thing. I am good at this, I swear. Yeah, there's no 12 seconds to Twin Mill. I don't really know. I know exactly. Twin Mill is going to win this race. I don't think there's any other way around that. It's just a matter of will Vert be able to take second place and minimize the damage. And pray that Dusty Angel doesn't get any more crazy positions. As he's now in last. Put him there. Rudy put himself there. He's going for XT3. I don't know if it's here or not. I probably should just ask for him until I see something. That looks like that would be the cause of his death. Oh, there we go. Let's go to the chicane here. He's got a attempt to put maneuvers on so fast. That's what it looks like, it says. Oh. That's no good. That will take full advantage. Someone else also took advantage. I didn't see who that was. Oh, Race Cam takes advantage as well. Dusty is like incredibly confused. He eventually gets pushed aside by XT3. And everyone can then continue on the way. Except for he gives Governor a piece of his mind afterwards. So that will gift Race Cam that the points that he never would have had before. And that gained 3 or 4 places from that. And now he is right behind so fast. Bert and 16 Angel is still at odds. The handling advantages very omnipresent there, oh my word. Garrett's looking to take the commentator and kick him out of the press box. Well, there's only a press box in Ryan Storm's case, it's blimp, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so Twisted Metal Black kind of actually, when I said earlier, when I mentioned like the whole arcade ladder idea, like have like a set of races and a set of races and battles, and at the end of them, I give a little bit of closure and background information on this timeline's version of the character I was playing as for all of those events. Yeah, I said that was like the old arcade games, but that's also exactly how Twisted Metal has always worked. Your head will assertively pass Ryan Storm. So fast without the vehicle to defend the position is just wrecked by that. Burn with the fastest lap, but from back there that won't be doing you any good, as Twin Mill is like not 40 seconds, like like 40 seconds ahead of you. Twin mill is here, and you are here. You're not catching that in one lap. I don't care what car you're in, you're not catching that. Unless twin mill is in like a Volkswagen Bug and you're in a Formula 1 car, you're not catching that in half a lap now. And if you did suddenly become a Volkswagen Bug, I'm pretty sure Vert and 16 Angels would kind of beat you to the punch. With all that said though, Twin Mill will run around the final turn, and he will once again be I think the first repeat winner here at Germany, and here in Germany rather, at the Nürburgring. 16 Angels in Twin Mill's old car will hold on for second place. I take a surprising fourth place. And Ryan, I do believe, will score his first points of the race. Or of the championship, rather. Byrne will steal the fastest lap, but it will do him no good in 11th place. So... But I'll probably do like a demonstration video later on of how it would work, and if you agree to the terms of service of like, yeah, this seems like an interesting idea as kind of a more interactive way of experiencing these characters rather than watching them. I'll actually be playing as them this time. So it's a slight improvement, slowly easing our way towards the full-blown onslaught of eventual Hot Wheels content that I would put up if and when I get a capture device of some kind. And again, that's assuming that I can figure out the whole computer ordeal, because well, I don't really have any kind of finances to speak of, so buying my own computer is an impossibility. The laptop could do it, but it's not mine. It's my grandma's, and I don't know if she'd want an editing software on there. Plus, it doesn't have to be somewhere near where I'm recording things. Pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure it has to be like connected to my microphone, which has to be connected to the game I'm playing in some way, which I don't know if I'll even do that. I do have another buddy who could verbally explain to me how to use a capture device. He has his own YouTube channel with like 1,000 subscribers, and he plays exclusively Formula 1 games on his channel. And I imagine he could probably do something to help me figure out all of this capture device stuff when I get one, with the whole computer ordeal and locationing. Because even if I do the PS2, it cannot be down here. There's no more inputs left unless I move my old Xbox 360. Which I would probably end up doing if this happened. Otherwise, other options still being GameCube. You know, if the buddy of mine would let me have his son's old GameCube and its controllers, then I just had to acquire the games that I wished to play on there. Use the Wii, and that would allow me to play Speed Racer, because I have both the Wii and the PS2 versions of it, and they do have their small differences. And then I wouldn't have to, you know, take someone else's console, and I would just have to get the games and a GameCube controller, or acquire a PS3 that allows backwards compatibility, because otherwise all I can do is Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. And as much as I enjoy it, Velocity X is supposed to be kind of the main focus of the Hot Wheels content, being this is like the somewhat more combative side, I say, as you're going through the Inferno tournament on Beat That, where it's also really combative, but I was having the wrong race and I almost forgot there was another round to this. So, yeah, I'll have to, later today, if not like immediately after this is uploaded, work on recording, make a test footage to sort of demonstrate what Toyota Black is, if you do not know what it is, and also the plans I would have for it. Plans as far as how the videos are structured, and who takes over what car, or vehicle rather, not all cars. There's some, Twisted Metal has an interesting variety of characters and cars, and that's the thing too, just like Speed Racer, if you don't know already, Speed Racer has a kind of variety of characters with their own personalities in each of the cars. Twisted Metal does the same thing, but they made it popular for 15 years. Give or take. Arguably it was only 6, but they used the formula for 10 rather. 1995-2005 was the last game before the PS3 one, which dropped the formula because it was rushed. So I did manage to remember to write out the list, or rather type out in a memo on my tablet, the list of all the Universe Zero competitors, which only makes it a little more convenient to choose them. But now I use a random number generator, and Act 17 will be team-based with 15 allegedly random characters. And there are 60. However, 6 of them would be new characters. More than that. Be 9 actually. 10. Okay, there's a lot of new characters. There's actually more like 45, but But one thing that is to note, there are new Hot Wheels characters as well. Most of them are just cars. Like Slide Out can appear. Couldn't be Slide Out because he's apparently an official character now. It also could be Road Rocket. He's a new one. Battle Spec can show up. Odds of them showing up, of course, are the same as any other driver. There's like a 25% chance that they'll end up being one of the 15. Also, my god, Danny, what has happened to you? You were in third at the start of the lap, and you're just being demolished. I have been paying no attention to the race. I just now noticed he's behind a train of like 7 cars, and he was started third. All these straightaways really must not treat this car very well. that our Danny in this race is has got one of the kind of duff AI, which could always be the case, really. Actually, 3 is in the lead by 3 seconds. All right. Dusty is in 4th, with Vert and Tuno right behind each other in 7th and 8th. Alex is in a new high for him, despite this car isn't bad. I don't know what's been wrong with Alex lately. He just hasn't been really up to his own standards as of late. But apparently he's started achieving them again. So after this, and after I record the Test the Waters video, which will kind of explain the 15 characters that are in Twisted Metal Black, including one that the AI don't pick because it's a boss, like kind of the playable boss type character, sort of like an M. Bison, if you will, or like a Shao Kahn, or I play too many fighting games, okay? They reference Mortal Kombat and then Street Fighter. No, I have no interest in adding any fighting game characters from either game into this. They don't fit very well. I say that, but I meant, like, I can't say that because we have the Powerpuff Girls in here. Samurai Jack drives a Toyota Supra. I'm pretty sure Ryu could take whatever he wants, but just like I don't have the desire, because I say Cartoon Network fits because of the Warner Brothers thing. Warner Brothers is a big deal with Hot Wheels and has had that for a long time now, ever since Hot Wheels started making Batmobile Hot Wheels toys. The Hot Wheels World Race and Accelerators films all aired and premiered on Cartoon Network, nowhere else. Cartoon Network had Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 in 2009, up to, I want to say 2013, but I'm not positive on that. And there was I said there was a Hot Wheels game. You know what beat that is, crying out loud, me. Oh, you don't know what beat that is. It's not like you're recording on your channel or anything. I don't know, me. What do you think? There's a Cartoon Network Mario Kart ripoff, which uses the same game engine that Hot Wheels Beat That does, the Technics Drift engine. And so I just like, it kind of all blends together between Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers, and Hot Wheels, so CN fits the bill. Plus, with Fusion Fall, the whole atmosphere thing that I mentioned before, the kind of darker tones and themes those characters are put through, and all that other good stuff, it fits almost too well. And I was a CN kid when I was growing up for the most part, a bit of Nickelodeon, and Disney only really had Phineas and Ferb to catch my attention. I hardly remember most of the other animated shows Disney had. Only the ones I can think of are Recess and The Proud Family. What? No. Yesterday it was the TV, now it's the internet for you. It's a mess upstairs, huh? Anyway. Apparently I'm not immediate interruptions down here either, but there'd be a lot less if I used the Wii or anything upstairs. Or, yeah, a lot less than if I did that, rather. I can English. And then the reason that the Nickelodeon and Disney characters appeared, not only because it was supposed to be the cartoon circuit, and I couldn't think of 15 fitting Cartoon Network characters that I could put in. I can think of 15, no problem. But 15 that I could actually fit into the situation, not really. Especially if I was going for a good variety of shows, like Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, Dexter's Lab, Codename Kids Next Door, but I'm not going to put all 5 of the main operatives, and then their villains and whatnot. Because if that's the case, I just do that and all of the villains and whatnot. I could literally do 2 shows and then maybe put Samurai Jack, Ben 10, and Dexter in there. And just have 6 from the other shows. So I'm like, well, I also want some variety because Well, this is your channel. It's more focused around the Nicktoons-based games. You know, Unite, Gloves of Doom, Battle for Volcano Island, not Bikini Island. God darn it, mouth. This guy's got a mind of its own, I tell you. Oh my goodness. Dusty really wants that lead. Like, actually kind of scared me a tiny bit. I didn't expect to see a sudden Dusty Angel appear on my screen, like breaking the godforsaken sound barrier. I didn't think it'd be Vert fourth. Actually, that'd be Burn. This seems like another one of those big straightaway tracks that he would win at. As X3 and Dusty go almost too wide down the short chute up to Eau Rouge is the name for this turn, or it's like Red River or something. And Dusty didn't have the best run off the turn, but Dusty does have a little more power than even this Nissan does. Nissan GTR does, and well, we'll see it later. Actually, I might try something, but I don't know if it'll ever work. Not with that breaking point, no. These three just sort of watch in anticipation of their opportunity. Twin Mill is now joined. So if only Dusty Angel weren't in the lead of this group, we would have quite a good race for the last lap or so. But Dusty Angel is leading the group. Twin Mill and Vert aren't in a place to deal with it because they have to get around Alex and XT3 still. So Dusty will get at least the rest of this lap, if not way more, because Vert doesn't have the top speed to get around these two, to just sort of make good his escape plan. Anyway, where was I before Dusty Angel just lunged? What was that? Because it's a big train, everyone can easily catch up to the group. So now Gearhead isn't far from the second, train of second place. Vert, I would prepare yourself. You might be about to be swallowed whole here. Might be, unless you get the greatest turn ever here up here. Yeah, Burns thank you, I'll take that. And now he has to take down his longtime rival. Twin Mill's looking feisty here. Yeah, I don't really know if that's the place for that. Then after a while, they'd get his stuff together and gain a few places, but of course me and Ryan are actually fighting over this place. We're fighting over not being dead last. Pretty far cry from the last round where we got 4th and 6th. That's for sure. And Dusty Angel will now, with this result, further cement his championship lead. Where his main two opponents are about to fight each other over 5th. And Gearhead just watches it all from behind and tries that. And because of how long this group was fighting, this group back here with another lap or two would have caught them, and then we would have like a 9-10 car train, which would have been only missing Dusty, the Governor, myself, and Storm. That you're really trying to pass him there. I mean, it doesn't matter, the race is over, but still. In or out of the race, that pass will never work. So yeah, and as this uploads, I will probably... No, I can't do that. I have to be at a... Unless I write it on a piece of paper. What's a PSW, Raker? Come on. I didn't hit the end recording button, did I? Whoops.